What's up guys, I'm glad to have you back. So today in this video we'll be talking about the futures to futures arbitrage, and we're going to be performing a live futures to futures arbitrage. Okay, I'll be giving you a step-by-step guide on how to perform it. And before this video, we've actually been talking about this arbitrage for a while, but we've not actually done it live. Okay, now this particular arbitrage has to do with you buying on the futures market. That means you're going to long a particular token on one exchange and you go and short it on another exchange. All right, so that's how the arbitrage works. And without wasting much time, let's dive into the process. But before we actually get into that, I would like to put out a disclaimer that this video is for educational purpose only, and whatever I'm explaining right now is not a financial advice. Okay, so this is because this has to do with crypto trading, and as you know, futures trading actually entails risk. So before you dive into futures trading, have some trading experience or be conversant with it, and that's why I'm making this video too, for the futures to futures arbitrage. All right, the first step to performing a futures to futures arbitrage is actually spotting that arbitrage opportunity. Okay, now to actually spot it, I'm actually using my arbitrage scanner right here. I've been using this tool for a while now to explain cross exchange arbitrage and also the sports to futures arbitrage, and now the futures to futures arbitrage. Okay, so once you come to your arbitrage scanner here, you click right here, then you click on this drop down where you have arbitrage products. Okay, then you're going to select the arbitrage perpetuals. All right, so it will load up this way. Then where you have templates here, you click on the drop down where you have templates. Then you're going to select the futures plus futures biggest exchange that you have here, this template. You select it here. Okay, so you can actually make some adjustments if you want. You select the crypto exchange you can use for this. So I would advise you select popular exchanges, select their futures option right here. Okay, then when you do that, where you have minimum transaction amount, let's just erase this. Okay, and then we have the minimum profit percent. You can erase this or you could leave it like this depending on your choice. Then here where we have do not update, I'm going to put it to 5 seconds. Okay, and it has loaded up the new arbitrage opportunities in the market currently. Okay, so these are the current futures to futures arbitrage opportunity right now at the time of making this video. And for the first one right here is between the Gate.io futures market and the Bybit futures market, and it has an overall profit of 1.56% right here, and it has a very good trading volume. And also if you look right here, this particular one have an entry/exit spread, which we're still going to talk about. But if you look right here, one important thing about this arbitrage opportunity is that the funding rate profit is around 1.93%, and funding rate is actually one good factor about the futures to futures arbitrage. Now, funding rates basically means the amount traders pay each other in the futures market. Okay, now in a positive funding rate, the long people that place long trades are the one paying people that place short trade. But in a negative funding rate like this, people that place shorts are the one paying longs. Okay, so for positive, the longs are paying shorts, and for negative, the shorts are paying longs. Now, which basically means that if you long this particular market right now, you get this funding rate within this countdown right here. You get this amount of funding rate within this countdown. And the same goes for the other exchange also. Now for the other one where we are going to be shorting, if you short this particular token within this countdown, you'll be deducted this amount because the short is paying the longs. Here we are going to be longing the token, and on Bybit we are going to short the token. So that's what this arbitrage opportunity here is telling us, that we are buying on Gate exchange. That means we are going to place a long position on Gate, and on Bybit we'll place a short position. And you can see their prices are not the same, right? So this is the overall profit we get to make. And also when the funding rate countdown reach, we get this funding rate profit also. But you get to see it in this video as we do it step by step. So to do this, one thing you need to do is to make sure you have the same amount of capital on both exchange for the trade. So let's say I'm doing this with 50 USDT. I'll put 25 USDT here, and right here on Bybit, I'm going to also put in 25. Okay, so right now I have the same amount of capital on my futures account on both exchange. That is for the Bybit and for the Gate exchange. Okay, now the capital I'm using right here is basically for illustration to actually show you that, okay, if you have up to this amount, you can perform futures arbitrage. Okay, and also if you are going to do this, only do it with what you can afford to risk, because this is the futures market right here. Okay, so those who have experience in trading futures actually should understand what I'm trying to say right here, but this is just for illustration right now. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do this is that we are going to adjust our leverage. Now for a futures arbitrage, do not use much leverage. You can use 3x to 5x leverage. It's actually okay. This is because if you use too much leverage and probably there's a price slippage on one of the exchange, you could actually run into liquidation. And to avoid that, do not use much leverage. Okay, so I'm using the 5x leverage, and also we're going to be using the isolated margin. Okay, so we're going to switch both to isolated. So I'm using the isolated margin. Now the next thing I'm going to do, this is my gate exchange, which is the exchange I'm buying according to my arbitrage scanner right here, and Bybit is the exchange I'm shorting on. Okay, so I'm going to draw this like this and open a long position. Okay, so we've opened a long position right now, guys. Then coming over to my Bybit, which is the exchange I'm selling, and I'm also going to draw it like this. Okay, and I'm opening a short position right here, and it has opened. So after setting it up this way, we have our liquidation price here, and we also have our liquidation price here. Okay, so looking at it right now, this particular trade where I actually short is currently in a loss, but if I come over here, the trade where I actually placed a long position is in some profits right now, but not much profit yet. You can see it's like your long position is covering up for your short position. Okay, so that's basically how it is. But because I also want to take advantage of the funding rate profit here, it means I can leave those positions open so that whenever this countdown finish, I'm going to get about 2.5% funding rate for this long position that I open. Okay, so I'm just going to give the two trades some time to actually continue, and as you can see, the trades are actually covering up for each other just in case. Now another thing is, in case of slippage, you can set take profit. Okay, you can set your take profit in such a way that whenever any position gets liquidated, the other one compensates for it. Okay, so I'm going to be setting my take profit for my short position close to the liquidation price of this position. Okay, as you can see, the estimated liquidation price of this position is 0.0852. So I'm just going to come here, set my take profit, close to that amount. So let's just leave our TP here just in case there's a price slippage, and then coming here, we'll also set another take profit. Okay, I can also let my take profit here to be the liquidation price here, or just slightly above the liquidation price, so that I will not run into loss. Okay, because I'm looking to take advantage of the funding rate right here in this particular arbitrage. All right, so I'm just going to leave my TP here at this price, and I'm going to confirm this, and I'm just going to wait for this countdown for the funding rate fee to be given, and I'll close both positions. Okay, basically guys, it's a two-way thing. It's either you are trying to take advantage of the funding rate profit, or if there's much spread right here, you are trying to take advantage of the overall profit. Okay, so we have one example here in the DEXC/USDT between the MEXC and Bybit, where the overall profit spread is actually much and the funding rate profit is low. But in a situation where the price of this token converge on both exchange, the overall profit will compensate for that. Okay, so that's basically how you can do this too. Okay, so those are the two things you need to have at the back of your mind if you are performing the futures to futures arbitrage. Okay, so guys, here's the current progress, and you can see this position is actually covering up for this, as we can see some little profit in this position. That's why I thought that we used probably a low capital to do this, and you can basically see the difference right here. Okay, so this to show you that we close these two positions right now, we'll see little profit here, but we are still waiting for this countdown to lock in the funding rate profit, and that'll be it. Okay, and guys, after the countdown, if I check right here my transaction history for today, the funding rate has been added to our balance here, and as you can see, we have 2.9 USDT in our balance already. Okay, so once I've received the funding rate, the next thing I'm going to do is to close my position. I'm going to close this position right now. I've confirmed this, and I'll also come over here and I'll close this position here too. So I've closed both positions right now. And if I come over here to my trade history, we closed our trade at -8 USDT, and on Bybit we closed around 6.3 USDT. So if we do 6.3 minus 8.02, that's minus 1.72. So if we add the funding rate profit we made, so we made a total profit of 1.18 USDT performing this arbitrage. Now, if you look at other things that deducted our profit, we look at the fees that we actually procured while doing this. That's while closing our trade and the rest, okay? And a quick tip, if you want to close your trade, if the order book right here is not tight, you can use the market order, okay? But if it is too tight, that is if the prices are far from each other right here, you use the limit order, okay? So after the last funding, the price have been adjusted, and I feel right now the arbitrage opportunity have closed on both exchange. All right, so coming back here to my arbitrage scanner, you can see that that particular arbitrage opportunity is no longer available. That is because the price of this token on both exchange have probably converged, or there's no more high funding fee right here that we can take advantage of. Okay, so this was a quick arbitrage opportunity that we took advantage of. So if you are going to be doing this, make sure that your funding rate profit is actually high, or there is enough spread for you to actually enter the market. Okay, these next signals being provided here currently have enough spread right here, although the funding rate profit is a negative. But if you look at the spread right here, we have 5.62 spread in this particular arbitrage opportunity between the gate and the Bybit exchange that I can still hop on. Okay, so in this new one, I'm not going to be looking at the funding rate, but my main target will be the spread. Okay, so there are two things involved in futures arbitrage. You are either looking to take advantage of the funding rate or take advantage of the spread. Okay, now the one I just did right now, I took advantage of funding rates and also a slight difference in the spread. But for this particular one, where the funding rate profit is negative, I'll be taking advantage of the spread. Okay, so that's how you do this, and I hope to make more videos about this. Okay, so if you find this very helpful, please don't leave without smashing the like button and subscribe to this channel. All right, and also one thing about the arbitrage scanner is that there are also other opportunities you can get right here, like cross exchange arbitrage opportunities. I've made live cross exchange arbitrage videos using these tools also, but the thing is, you don't get access to all the tools for free, as I am currently subscribed on the arbitrage scanner. And if you are looking to subscribe to, you can check it out right here where you have subscriptions. And whenever you actually get a subscription on arbitrage scanner, you'll be given double the month you subscribe if you use my promo code interest. Okay, so that'll be all for now, and I hope to see you guys on my next update. Have a nice day. Bye.